morning. We are beginning our study of the minor prophets. Yesterday I set it up, noted that there's 12 Old Testament books that are relatively small. They are prophetic, very important. They're minor because they're short, not because they're not important. They cover very significant issues. And we are looking today, I want to start looking at Hosea, which is a sort of classic minor prophet. So Hosea was written about 700 years before Christ was born, which is 200 years after the kingdom that had united under David. He had united the 12 tribes. They remained united under Solomon. Solomon dies and the 12 tribes split into the northern 10 tribes and the southern 2 tribes. So this is about 200 years after the split. And Hosea is writing during the reign of Jeroboam II, who's one of the worst of the bad kings in the northern, and the north doesn't have any good kings. The south has a few, but the north has a bunch of bad ones, and Jeroboam is among the worst. This is written at a time when it looks like Israel is strong, but is not, is rotting on the inside and about to come unraveled. As a matter of fact, Hosea is written just a few years before everything is going to fall apart and the northern 10 tribes of Israel are going to be overrun by the Assyrians, and that's the last that we hear from them. So Hosea is a prophet living in the capital, Samaria, of the northern 10 tribes. And we get a collection of his teaching, sort of 25 years of his teaching. But the big thing, if you know anything about the book of Hosea, what you probably know is that God commands him to go and to marry a prostitute. And I just want to focus on the first 3 chapters of the book today. So it gets set up here in Hosea chapter 1, verse 2. When the Lord began to speak through Hosea, the Lord said to him, "Go marry a promiscuous woman and have children with her, for like an adulterous wife, this land is guilty of unfaithfulness to the Lord." And then it says, so Hosea married Gomer, the daughter of Diblaim. Now, remember, the message here, and this happens with the prophets, there are times when God would have the prophets do something to illustrate. It was unthinkable, like go and marry a prostitute. And you're doing this to illustrate what people are doing to God. So Hosea marries this woman, and right after they get married, she conceives and they give birth to a son. And then she gets pregnant 2 more times, and she has a daughter, and then the third is another boy. And the names of the second child, the second girl, the first girl, the second child is named Not Loved. And then the third child is called Not My People. So the names of the kids, along with the fact that it's not suggested that they are actually Hosea's children, suggests that things began to unravel in the marriage very quickly. So you get the idea as you read through this, that Hosea is taking care of the kids, and he's doing everything, right? I mean, he's doing all the housework, he's doing all the care for the children, he's doing all the meal prep, and then he's putting them down and asking some neighbor to watch them while he goes and tracks down his wife and speaks with her at the brothel, in between her servicing clients. And then as you read on, her business starts to fall apart. She becomes she falls down. Her looks apparently drop off. She's not worth as much money. She begins to be treated even more poorly than she was being treated. She eventually starts to live with a man who beats her. Hosea intercedes for her. He begs her to come home. She won't. He gives the man who she's living with, who's beating her, he gives this man money to take care of her, to treat her better. The man never tells Hosea that the money is coming from, never tells Gomer that the money is coming from Hosea. Eventually, he tires of her and he sells her. She's stripped naked and auctioned off. And this is when God says to Hosea, go and buy her back. So Hosea 3 reads, the Lord said to me, go show your love to your wife again, though she is loved by another man and is an adulteress. Love her as the Lord loves the Israelites, though they turn to other gods. And so Hosea will buy his wife back. She's being auctioned as a slave. He will buy her back. But he's not to treat her as a slave. He is to treat her as his wife, one he loves. And all of this is being done as a backdrop to say, this is often how we treat God. We are adulterers. We give our love to idols, to other things, to other gods, to powers, whatever. And we turn our back on God. And yet God is relentless in his love for us. Have a good day.